Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, to shed more light on the achievements in the fields of energy and petroleum during the past 2 years, we have the pleasure to have this phono with Dr. Gamal Al-Alyoubi, Professor of Petroleum and Energy. Welcome, Dr. Alyoubi.
Good afternoon to you and to all your audience.
Good afternoon to you, sir. Dr. Alyoubi, could you give us an idea about the kinds of energy that we have here in Egypt?
Honestly speaking, it's clear for all the region that energy in Egypt in the last 5 years is completely on a very optimistic model, which is represented by a real example to all African countries, and also all the countries suffered a lot of long-term time about a shortage of electricity and a shortage also in some domestic fuel and natural gas. What happened in Egypt is completely, it's called Egyptian models for energies. The Egyptian models for energies have been started in a way to study what is the weakness and how we can go for the strengths, and this is take care of the high level of the country coming from the politics leaders who care about this situation and follow up by mapping and by time, and also by some time schedule and directors to get some successful and the performance in continuous. And when I start backward to display what's going in Egypt, I just to remind me and myself and a lot of the people just watching your screen that in 2014 we are complained for the and suffered in the same time for the shortage of electricity, which it's come up with a consumption rate close to 22,000 megawatts in compared to the real consumption, which it's come up to 29,000 megawatts. So we have a shortage higher than 7,000 shortage in 10,000 megawatts shortage in electricity. If I'm come up to also the situation related to the natural gas, because all our power plants have been designed to receive natural gas, which almost contributed 85% of the total power plants is basically a consumption of natural gas. And due to the shortage of the natural gas, we're not able to deliver or to fulfill the requirements of that power station. End of the story, that we have many of the power plants have been stopped due to the shortage of the natural gas. So also the third option, that a lot of foreigner investment in Egypt since they come up with revolution 25th of January 2011 up to 30 of June 2013, which it's come up different because a lot of that investors didn't get the rights in terms of their receiving of their portion in the gas or the oil have been delivered to the government since very long time, and this has come up that the government loan up to $7 billion, and all the investors cannot continue without get the rights back. So the story for that one was very tremendously is abnormalities, and this is make the politics leaders since 2014 to think out of the books, and for that reason we found that commitment with that all investor or foreign investor in Egypt, we pay it to them their portion and the rights time by time till we have 2020. We are at very minimum values from $7 billion up to 60 million or plus dollars, which is already paid to our foreign investor and the trusting back to them. Second, that there is a commitment from the president level to set with all execution managers for all foreigners companies in Egypt to care about the oil or gas exploration or drilling or production investment to improve their targets investment in Egypt and way forward to looking for some new discoveries, economic discoveries, and specifically the part of deep water far away from onshore in Egypt. And this is had get a very beneficial advice to many of them, and this is ended by a good result for 2 mega projects. One of them is Zohra, with a huge amount of discovery. We talk about 30 trillion of standard cubic feet of gas, and this is the hugest number in the Mediterranean Sea pool, that we have a prospection of gas discoveries like this one. And ultimate of that one, that a contribution project by Egypt and politics leaders in conjunction with the foreigners in Egypt, we deliver a successful mega project of Zohra to deliver a gas to be onshore within 3 years or less. And this is a very successful story. Add a value for overall production in Egypt and come up with early 2019 to a country has satisfaction of the gas for a consumption and additional value of a production of the gas higher than 1.7 billion cubic feet per day, which improve our target for LNPG manufacturing, in filtrizing manufacturing, in petrochemistry manufacturing, and a lot of value add of the gas come up to Egypt. In addition to that, the basic infrastructure of the natural gas in Egypt lead the country to be a geographic energy hub, and this is created a new vision for the gas, and ended by a good idea to settle the all economy boundaries in the Mediterranean Sea, settled also the economic boundaries in the Red Sea, and this is improve the trusting for all foreigners to come up to Egypt. And you have seen figures out that the total foreign investment for the petroleum section and also electricity section is come up with 62% of the total foreign investment portfolio all over Egypt in the 4 previous years. Yes. And in addition to that part, we try to improve our application of the gas as a natural gas application value add, and converted a lot of numbers of a car from the benzene fuel to the dual fuel, including the natural gas. Additional to domestic fuels of the natural gas, deliver and install over 3.5 million population units have been installed by natural gas, which reduced the standard domestic fuel, which we already imported and costed us a lot of time, a lot of cost, and also a time it may reflect it to instability in the street. By natural gas, we have a clear vision that we already deliver the consumption rate in terms of the power plant. We have the additional saturated value of electricity in compared to we have. Now Egypt produces almost 45,000 megawatts in compared to the shortage in 2014-15 that we maximum will produce is 25,000 megawatts. So we have improvement higher than 20,000 megawatts, which had been delivered by saturation of the gas, good new discovery of the gas, also some improvement of reducing the importing bill, which is costing Egypt in monthly base $1.3 billion, and by individual achievement of a mega project of Zohra and Golden West, we have been achieved a huge number of Egypt production of the gas in daily, which has come up to 7.6 billion cubic feet per day, which in compared to the other countries, we are a big value in terms of consume or satisfy the customer, the population needs, and also we have additional of the production allowed to us to looking for new value add of gas manufacturing, which we are looking for as a target. Addition to that, it's created to us to make a conjunction to supply by merge the electricity net abroad with Sudan, with Libya, with Tunisia, with Palestine, with Jordan, with Saudi Arabia, and also recently with Iraq in the last committee protocol between Egypt and Iraq, that we have a target to expand our electricity net from Egypt to Jordan, from Jordan up to Iraq in South Iraq. This created that Egypt now is energy hub by the infrastructure, by the leading of the politics group which our president, which put a target to Egypt to be a satisfied country to fit the purposes of what need for energies and economy future, which needed by a new investment looking for sufficient of energy in the country, and also the leader of the country is dealing with the future plan to expand the balance of population. They are need also for energies. By satisfying that energy, you can achieve the balance of the population by the graphics of Egypt, allowed to transfer the population in different places, satisfied by different infrastructure routes, achieve pure water, and also the sewage or a drainage system, which already improved in the recent 30 years. All that combination of all population, needs of population, improve the economics is needed by energy. So whenever you need to put our economy in a strong stage, you need to satisfy all that by sufficient energy to support and lead our economics to be in progressively achievement in the future.
Yes, so Dr. Alyoubi, Egypt entered also the field of the solar energy, as you've mentioned, with a huge project, which is the Bin Ban station in Aswan.
This is, like I said to you, a very good approach by politics leaders, because when you build our economics, we put a basis to sustain our economics in forward, and without any dropping or crisis may affect it. That's like before. So the situation is to go with the energy basket, and this is energy basket is contributed by 5 basics. The part of gas and petroleum section, part of nuclear, part of renewable energies, and also a part by hydrologists or the force coming from the water and dam design. Additional to the coal. In Egypt, the basket of energies has been distributed well, and we have alternative. For that reason, the government has settled a plan since 5 years that we have a contribution for electricity, that the portion of the gas and also the petroleum section in the future to be a percentage between 30 to 35%, and for nuclear to be 18 to 20%, and for renewable energies to be 33%. Now we achieved currently till 2020, we achieved up to 18 to 21% of manufacturing of electricity come up from your renewable energies. And your example is we have 2 things. We have the solar system farm, which has been upgraded under the umbrella of the Arab banking, and this is achieved recently a huge second farm producing electricity up to 2,000 megawatts, and this is Pinapan solar farm has been built in the highway Aswan, Cairo, and this is contributed by over 42 units of the solar panels, achieve a good goals of a huge number of electricity in compared to the other international media of renewable energy farm to compare.
Yes, I thank you very much, Dr. Gamal Al-Alyoubi. Thank you very much for your time, Dr. Gamal Al-Alyoubi, Professor of Petroleum and Energy. A short break, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to be back with you.